our destination.
Top organizational tips.
Let's go for a ride.
Welcome to Girls Trip. We are on day 3 of our adventure into organizing, cleaning, all that fun stuff. And today we're gonna finally start to like really dig in to what that could mean
junk.
or look like. Yes, into the theoretical junk. And to do that, we each decided to give ourselves some homework.
We took a break from our psychological thrillers and we went to a different genre.
Different direction.
Different direction.
Yes. And I think we all went the podcast route, right?
Yeah.
We all listened to a podcast of a different organizational expert and sort of their theory, their approach, whatever you may call it, so we can share with you. Because we have some fun stuff coming up next week that this is all going to apply to. So you might want to take a couple of notes if anything strikes your fancy. And maybe you want to start doing some spring cleaning along with us next week so you can mentally start to prepare yourself. But the one that I listened to was called The Minimalists. I'd never heard of them before. Apparently they're
very popular.
huge.
Yeah.
Really?
I think they're like Emmy nominated
So,
Netflix.
My
my
podcast that I listen to refers to them.
Really?
And I was like, oh
my
gosh, they're on the
podcast that I
list.
listen to refers to yours.
Oh, that's funny.
So who got the best podcast?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Which is so funny. But yes, I'd never heard of them. They're apparently very popular. So many of you may have heard of them.
People watching are like, wow, these girls have no
Yeah.
idea what organization is.
Living under a rock. And so the reason I chose this was a couple of months ago, my parents redid the floors in their like living room, dining room space. And in order to do that, they had to empty out, their like huge server in their dining room and china cabinet and all that kind of stuff.
I know
and
exactly what she's going
and
to
they
say.
put it all in
So
bins. And, after they finished the floors, my mom was just like really enjoying all of this like emptiness. And so the joke became that she's a minimalist now. That's what she says. So every time she's like, I'm not putting that back, or I'm throwing that away, or we're out shopping and she's like, I'm not going to buy that. And I'm like, oh, because you're a minimalist now.
And if you know our beloved Karen, I wouldn't call her
She's
a minimalist.
not a minimalist.
Not a maximist,
No.
but not a minimalist.
So that's why I ended up choosing this, just because I thought it was funny. But I'm kind of in the middle. There's a lot where I was like, ooh, I think that's a great concept, great rule, great approach, and other stuff where I was like, that is way too extreme of a way to that's like a whole way of life, not just organizing your home. So the first, so actually I should say they put out an ebook that I read. And you can it's for free. You can download it. They also have it audio to listen to.
Oh, nice.
It's very short, but it's their 16 rules of minimalist living.
Wow.
So I'm not going to share all 16 today, but if you are curious, it's theminimalist.com and it's a super easy download if you want to scroll through that. But I'm going to share a couple. And their first one is called the 30-Day Minimalism Game. I think, which I just thought, a game.
Yay.
I love a game. Give me a game. I'm there. I thought it was fun. And they suggest getting at least one, but maybe other friends to sort of play with you as a competition. And the whole concept is that you do it for a month. You do it for 30 days.
Okay.
And on day 1, you have to purge one thing.
Okay.
And it has to be out of your house by midnight. So whether that's donated, in the garbage, sold, whatever it is, you have until midnight to get that one thing out of your house.
Wow.
But every day it increases. So day 2, you have to purge 2 things. Day 13, you have to purge 13 things, like whatever it is. So the competition is to see
30 pence? Does that count?
Yeah, it would.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Oh boy.
It's to see like who can stay in the game for the longest.
Okay.
And do that.
Are we doing this?
I don't know. Maybe it kind of sounds
I can do
Interesting.
it. I love purging.
I feel like
do it.
Artie would thrive.
He would
Every
love
time
it.
he goes in the basement, he's like, I just want to get rid of stuff. I want to
Yeah.
organize. and
His
get rid of
problem
it."
would be the days 1 through 29 when he can only do a few things at a time.
because he likes doing big changes.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like the hard part about the game is that I would have to be like really strategic.
yes,
Yeah.
And be like, okay, what do I have a lot of?
Yeah.
Like, you know, receipts. I could throw away 30 receipts. Like,
Yeah.
easy.
But you would feel so good by the end of the month, probably. There'd be so many things.
I'm
out of your
open
house.
to trying
yeah.
this.
And I do think, again, like I said yesterday, I feel like it just opens you up to creating more of a habit than you have. Like, you're not going to sustain that forever, but maybe you'll just get more in the habit of like, I should throw this out, or
Yes,
like I need
yes.
to get this out of my house, or
Okay.
whatever it is on a more regular basis, rather
Totally.
than like once a quarter, once a year, whatever
I do
it
think
is.
that's the purpose of it, because after the month's over, it's like you just start accumulating more stuff. They're trying to create a habit
Yes.
in you. For sure.
So I
Okay.
thought that was a fun way to start out and give the minimalist lifestyle a try.
So
Love it.
as per usual, I'll put on my psychology glasses and
I think we need to get you an actual pair of
Yeah,
glasses.
that'd be great.
To,
Oh, just
to put on.
when it comes on. So my podcast that I listened to was The Productive Woman by Laura Mckellen. And this was, I don't know why, you gave us so many podcasts that would be optional. And I'm like, maybe I'll just try this one. Of course, not one tip is mentioned in this entire podcast. It's all about like why we need organization.
I mean, honestly, I think that's
and it
pretty
was-
perfect for
yeah,
you.
I was like,
Right up your alley.
am I just drawn to these things? How
You
does
just
this-
don't even realize
and I
it.
loved it. I thought it was so good. I mean, Laura, maybe I got an old episode, but let's up the audio a little bit. I mean, there was a couple audio issues. Other than that, it was great. It was great too. It was really cool because she invited two women, one from Paris and one from Israel, on during. So they were. It was like an international conversation. I think that's what she called it. And so the reason why I'm piping in right now is because that I think speaks to one of the main topics that they had, which is why do we have so much stuff? So the fact that we can purge every day. How many items is that? Oh shoot, how many items is that? If you're
We'd have to do some math.
We have to do some math.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of the fact that we could do that really probably effortlessly does speak to the sheer volume of things that we have. And I don't know about you guys, but I grew up kind of thinking that us Americans were just spoiled, rotten brats who have so much stuff. And I took a little breath of relief because I was a little surprised to hear that this lovely lady from Paris and Israel, they both said, oh yeah, no one can even park their cars in garages because of that's how much stuff that they have. This is a problem
Yeah, it's not
worldwide
just- it's not just for us.
in the modern world that we live in. Just the amount of stuff that we accumulate. Obviously there's places around the world that do not have this problem, but just this whatever is the cause behind it, whether it's status and this was really interesting to hear too, like some places accumulate so much stuff because the more stuff you have, even if you have, this was crazy to me, most people will get like 3 and 4 of the same thing.
Oh, wow.
That's like a normal thing.
Whoa.
They will
Just
get
to have.
just to have it, just in case one breaks. Just in case. Weird. Like I don't really relate to that so much, but apparently in a part of the world that's a very big thing, like having multiple of items of the same exact thing. But then they went into other areas of maybe you just have a shopping problem because you are maybe you're a procrastinator. Maybe you are thinking, well, I'll get to that, but this I need in order for that to be done. And you just start accumulating more stuff through buying. Then there was the topic of Amazon and how it used to be a 2-day thing.
Okay.
Now it's a 2-hour thing. And we just want things faster.
Yeah.
Faster. And these are so many reasons why we accumulate so much stuff. So I just think it's important to think about and ask ourselves, do I need? I think we all know, like we could live off of a lot less. We all know that. But why do I have so much? Like what is my motivation for this? And if it's causing me any type of stress, anxiety, whatever, maybe it's time to tweak.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I definitely, and which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, but I think the two contributing factors for me are it's too easy for me to order something with the Amazon thing. It's just so fast. And I've actually, independent of what we're doing for the last week, I have been tracking my expenses every day. And there are so many things that don't even register in my brain
As
when
like,
I'm doing
we'll
it. It's like that's an expense, that's a purchase, until I'm forcing myself at the end of every day to like think through my day and be like, oh my God. And then I'm realizing, wow, that adds up so fast. And I don't even feel like I spent any money today. And I spent $300 today on like various things.
Bizarre.
So I've been doing that. And then, I think I've definitely trained my brain to want that dopamine hit.
It is
That's
a dopamine
where you get
hit.
it from. Yeah.
It is another type of addiction.
Yeah. Of like, and I need, I'm not sure what the answer is there yet. I don't know if you train your brain to like get a dopamine hit from something else that's not quite that, or to not need that dopamine hit or whatever it is. But, like I'll feel like I haven't been to a store in 6 days. I need to get there.
Need to go.
Miles is like, excuse me.
Those two things for sure I feel, which I'll talk about later.
This is like a perfect segue. Just coming
love
right
it.
around.
Good. Coming around town.
Ooh.
Show and tell.
Da-da-da. This is a trash bag. Okay, trash bag. So my podcast was called Trash Bag Theory.
Love.
The number one secret to decluttering success. This was by Cass Arson. And she kind of talks about that dopamine hit a little bit. So her big thing with this episode is not even getting into the organization area of cleaning, but getting rid of stuff as well. So she's like, we don't realize, almost going along with this 30-day getting rid of things, we don't realize how much stuff we accumulate. We try to save because, I need it later or whatever. So her big thing is you're going to take a trash bag. And actually during the episode, she's like, do it while I'm talking. So she's like, get a trash bag, because as she's going, she lists things to go check out as she's doing it. So I thought that was really cool. It's a way to just be proactive. I think the episode was like maybe 25 minutes. It's not that long. So she says, biggest thing to start with, receipts. She's like, we keep receipts. And I think I saw this, I don't know, it was a meme or a reel. And it was like, there's a 50-50% chance that I will take this receipt, and I don't even know why. Like, I think I'll need it later, or I'm just going to go throw it out. Like, we don't know why we keep receipts sometimes. We have reasons, yes. But most of the time we're just like, we grab it and we go. Like it gets thrown in a bag or we throw it in a pile. Unless we're tracking them, they really don't serve a purpose. So she's like, go through your purse. Where do you store like receipts? And it doesn't have to be a specific room. She's like, you're doing the entire house with this trash bag.
Oh, okay.
So that also is cool, because I'm like, you're not confined to a space.
Were you doing it while you?
I was listening in the car.
Oh,
Every time I listened to it, I was in the shower, in the car. I was like, okay, great. So
I mean, I could really use a trash bag in my car.
That's true too. Yeah.
don't tell. So I was like, ooh, I really like this, because you're not confined, or you're not set to be in one room for like an hour. Like you are just going around your entire house. So she starts with receipts. She progressively gets bigger with her items. Okay, so then let's go, say you're in your bathroom. Are there empty shampoo bottles? Are there like little pieces, an empty toothpaste container, old toothbrushes? Like you don't realize what things you keep under the cabinet for no reason. And she says, all you are doing is throwing stuff out. You are not trying to organize. So you're opening it, close it if it's messy, but just look for the trash items.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we can get lost in that.
Exactly.
Like, what do I do first? Like, there's so much to organize. I'm not going to just throw this.
She's
throw
like,
out the garbage.
the process, or the purpose of this is not to organize.
Yeah.
It is to just clean first, the clutter, then you can assess that. And she talks about this dopamine hit that you get, which I just like saying that because it sounds so fun. Dopamine hit. But she's like, actually, she talks about exposure therapy. She's like, if you are a hoarder, the only way for you to actually get rid of it is to have a positive experience throwing something out. So she's like, you're essentially doing that with this because it feels good. Like, ooh, I got rid of all those receipts. Ooh, I got rid of all of that junk. She's like, even those spray bottles with like cleaner that are like at the very bottom that the straw isn't quite getting it, throw it out. Like the amount of times that she says put it in the trash is probably 500 in this episode.
Wow.
Because you're just trying to get rid of stuff. You're not trying to keep it. She's like, old cords that you had, chargers, stuff that you just don't think about, throw it out. So she goes from room to room and she, again, breaks it down. But that was something that I didn't think about actually, because when you go into a room sometimes to organize and you're like, okay, I need to take everything out on the floor. Then I'm going to organize, but you don't, and you clean as you go. Like you throw stuff out as you are organizing.
I just love the thought of like a working podcast. Like you're doing something
Yeah,
while you're listening
right?
and she's telling you. I just love that.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
So I thought that was really cool. And I loved the connection though. She was like, you don't have to be a hoarder to like have a good response to this type of cleaning.
Right.
So it kind of goes along with that, but she's like, you can get this done. And she talks about her doing it in 15 minutes. Like you could stick with one room. You could do the whole first floor, second floor. If it gets overwhelming, make it smaller. But the purpose is to not make you feel overwhelmed. It's to just like, she talks about even like kids puzzles. She's like, do you have a toy that you hate cleaning up? Put it in the trash. Like she's like, the purpose is not to, save things for later. It's like, do I use this? No, throw it out.
Yeah.
Like don't let your brain second guess it and think about it. Like just get it out of the house. So
that's great.
I was like, okay. I like this one because it's just constant movement. You're not stuck in a room. So I was like, ooh, yes, this is my alley.
I mean, I have definitely done that without knowing that there was a whole concept behind it out of frustration. Because when you have kids, young kids especially, you don't have to open anything to find trash.
Yeah.
I just grab a trash bag and start walking around my house and I'm like, wrapper, half-eaten snack, plastic cup, tag ripped off of your shirt, broken toy. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
So like I said in the beginning, Cass was a guest on the Minimalist podcast. They did like a series on decluttering and they focused on, I think, like the living room, the bedroom, cabinets maybe, and closets. I think it was like a 4-week series. And she was one of their guests for the bedroom. And the dichotomy between the two was so great because the minimalists are so extreme, right? Like they're like, I don't have anything on my night table, like, and my room barely has anything in it, and like, you know, again, so extreme. And I appreciated that Cass was very much like the every woman's type organizational approach. Like she's like, I'm a working mom, I'm busy. Like this is less about you know, being perfect and more about how do I adapt things to my life to just feel tidy. So for her, that looks very different. She's like, I don't fold my pajamas. I throw them in a bin and put them in the closet, but it's away and it's tidy and that works for me. And they were like, you know, appalled by it. But it was a very funny back and forth, and it made me feel like, okay, there are like, she's an organizational expert and she's still like, I have to do things that just work for me. So that gave me a little bit of hope. Okay, so the next 3 rules I'm going to kind of present quickly as one because they're all very similar in their setup. They're all number based. Wow. So there's 90, 90, 30, 30, and 20, 20. Okay. Those are 3 of the 16.
90, 90, 30, 30, 20, 20.
So the 90, 90 is also called their seasonality rule. And it's if you haven't used it, if you pick up an item, if you haven't used it in the last 90 days, and you know you're not going to use it in the next 90 days, it needs to go. Because they say that covers pretty much any time of year that you're doing this in. That covers like any major holidays that have just come and any major holidays that are about to come, or like, or seasons, like transitioning from, you know, whatever, fall to winter or winter, spring, you know, whatever that is. That if you've used it in those time frames, you're not going to. It's going to sit there for a whole nother year being unused. So you need to get rid of it. The 30-30 one, it kind of relates to the whole Amazon thing, which is also known as the wait for it rule. And they say if something is more than $30, wait 30 hours before you purchase it. And I have been doing that a lot with my Amazon purchases where I will just like put it in my cart and leave it there.
I also do that now.
And it cuts down on stuff that I buy like 70%.
I agree with that.
Because I think that I don't know that it's a dopamine hit, but it's like off my brain, the fact that I put it in my cart. But then when I come back to it, I'm like,
I don't really need that.
I don't really need that.
Yeah.
Like that's not worth me spending that much money on.
That is a great tip.
Whatever. So I think that
big decisions.
Yeah,
Wait 24 hours, like before you jump to conclusions.
And then they kind of say that if it's more than $100, they wait 30 days to make the purchase, which that's big. I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I could do that.
Doesn't apply. It can't apply to like a gift that you're buying for someone, right? Like
Right.
then it can't apply because honestly, at this point, that's the only thing I'm spending more than $100 on at this point. Like it's just for other people that I need.
Yeah.
And next week for a birthday.
Although I've been shopping for a dress to wear to a wedding, and those are all
Yeah,
over
those
$100.
are all over the
True,
all over the
though.
place.
Yeah, clothes is rough.
So clothes
Yeah.
and stuff like that can be rough. And then they have a 20/20 rule, which is if you have an item that you could replace for less than $20 and you can get it in 20 minutes or less, like away from you, it needs to go. And I do think that I struggle with this rule a lot because I do so many things that require really random bizarre items, whether that's
Yes.
planning a murder mystery, whether that's planning, kids church lessons for church or, whatever that may be. I'm always like, oh, well, this is like, a really random object that I don't need right now. And I don't know if I'll use it again, but I have to hold on to it because I might need it for this, like, this thing that I might plan. So that's
one's a little
hard
rough.
for me. But they kind of go into it and they're like, probably over the last decade, I've only actually replaced 5 of those items.
Wow.
And so, that's $100. But over the course of like 10 years, it's allowed me to purge thousands of items that have been taking up space. And I really haven't had to put out that much money to replace them.
Okay.
So I don't know. I might stretch myself a little bit.
Yeah, and try that.
And try that. But that's out of the 3, I think that's the hardest.
That seems like the
for me.
hardest one that I would
Yeah, me
have a
too.
hard time with too. Yeah.
That's good though.
Yeah.
That's good though.
But those were some 3
90, 90, 30, 30,
3
20, 20. Yeah.
numbers rules that
Easy
I
to
kind of
remember.
grouped together in my head.
Easy to remember.
Yeah.
Something that this was not from a podcast. I actually heard on Instagram, and it was one of those things that entered my brain, and it is like a little like hamster wheel in my brain throughout the day. I don't know why it hit me, but it was really good. You guys have probably heard it. I don't know, but it was so simple. This girl was walking around her house, and as she was taking off her jacket, you hear her voiceover, and it's, "Don't put it down, put it away. Don't
Yep.
put it down,
Put it
it
away."
away." And I find myself hearing my like this little voice in my head as I'm walking, like in my kitchen as I'm doing stuff, or I take off my coat or my laptop, whatever it is. It's like, don't put it down, put it away. I think that has somewhat almost transformed my life. If I can like keep up with that,
Yeah.
what an easy rule, and then something easy to like teach kids too.
Yeah.
Don't put it down.
Your sneakers don't go there or whatever, put it where they belong.
Because it's mostly laziness or just a desire to do something that you think is more important or
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm very bad at that. And I have also been trying to do better at that because I'm trying to teach my kids to be better at that. So
Yeah.
I have to be better at that. But like every time it's like, oh, you just finished that snack. Go put it in the garbage. Don't put it on the table. Or you came in, took your shoes off, go put them by the door. But I'm like, now I have to
go
also
do that.
follow those to set an example. And I feel like that would go into reducing trash too.
Yeah, because then you're like, okay, it's not
Because it might
piling up.
it might
somewhere.
go away in the garbage.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Like don't shove that
exactly.
receipt in your purse, put it in the
Yep.
garbage,
Or
you
like
know, in
go
its
through
final
your purse as
place.
soon as you get home. Put it in the yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. But that's a really quick and easy just reminder. Boom,
Yeah.
done.
So one of the ones that I found, I don't think I could do this, was their 1 in 10 out rule. Now,
10 out.
initially, I thought it was like, okay, so it's supposed to be every time you purchase something, you get rid of 10 things. And initially, I thought it was, okay,
Yeah.
you purchase whatever, a new pan, let's say, then I'm going to get rid of, I don't know, 5 receipts and a pen and this and that. But all of the examples they give are in the same category. So they were like, you purchase a new shirt, you need to get rid of 10 items of clothing. I was like, whoa. And then it got,
Oh my God.
I haven't even let that register in because it
You're
makes
like,
them
yeah,
like, no, that's
even
not, that's
that
not real.
is like, maybe that's possible. But then they were like, you want to purchase a new chair? You get rid of 10 pieces of furniture.
You know how much furniture costs nowadays? Absolutely not.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, I I don't know how many
Unless
people
they're maybe like what constitutes as furniture? Like
A folding chair?
like
Like
I
it's rusty?
Yeah.
Well, I also like where does like if you're talking to my lovely mother, decor is a huge. I mean, you walk into her house, you're like, oh, it's a flea market.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like what am I purchasing today?
Yeah.
But I think that's its own category. Like, so if you purchase a
God.
thing of decor, you have to get rid of 10 decor items. That's not furniture.
She literally told me the other day, just come shopping at my house. It's fine. And she does it. It's very, my mom's not a hoarder. She is
very
very,
strategically
very
placed.
strategic and very tasteful. And she loves, like, she's a maximalist. She, the more stuff, the better, but in its right place. But that, maybe that does need to be its own category then, because if she's buying one thing for that, yeah. Ooh.
But I'm like,
tough.
that's on the extreme side.
Yeah.
I could maybe do like 1-to-1.
That's what I was going to
1
say.
to 1.
I remember.
1
yeah,
to
that.
10.
10 pieces of furniture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my whole house.
I think my aunt did that. She made her, like my cousin, he would, if he got a toy, she's like, okay, you're donating one or getting rid of one.
And that's okay.
Easy peasy.
1
I
to
was like,
1.
that's
great.
fine.
But if I did that, I'd have one chair in the middle of an empty room.
I know. What are you
going to do?
These 3 chairs, what
funny.
3 chairs did you, or, 10 chairs did you get rid of? Is that
Yeah.
30 chairs actually now that you bought 3?
Or it's just if it is a rule that you have to, like, for whatever reason, you have to stick to it. Maybe it's just a deterrent.
Yeah,
to buy anything.
There you
exactly.
go.
Exactly. I think that's more just like it's not worth buying that
more
because
along those
you're not
lines.
going to. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So this next one reminded me of who's the woman who does this Spark Joy? Marie
Kondo.
Marie Kondo. So this is felt kind of similar, but it's the spontaneous combustion rule.
Oh, I love
they call
this.
it. Where when you pick
I don't remember
something, when
this.
you pick something up, this is not Marie Kondo. This
Oh,
is
oh,
the
it's based
Minimalist.
off.
It just reminded me of that. But if you pick something up and it spontaneously combusted, it exploded, it's gone. Would you feel regret that item's gone or relief that that's gone?
I like that. That's really fun. Okay.
And I think the hard part for me is I probably feel neutral about a lot of stuff. But maybe that's a sign too. Like, I like this thing. I don't necessarily feel relief that it's
I don't
gone,
feel
but
anything.
I'm not like sad. I'm not like upset. And it's just like, okay, well, it's gone. I'm not going to go replace it.
Spontaneously combusted.
Spontaneous combustion.
That's great. That's funny.
So that's kind of
Interesting.
a funny one. And then the last that I'll share, because again, there's a lot. So 16. Some of them are much more like not abstract, but sort of like more theory, and you really have to think through it. So I kind of shared the more practical ones. But this kind of goes back to something that you mentioned about gift giving. They have 2 rules related to gift giving, but they both kind of boil down to the same thing. And it's basically stop gifting stuff. And as much as you possibly can, gift experiences.
I love this. This is a
Which
great
I
tip.
do love. But
Yes.
whether that's, and you can make it as simple or elaborate as you want. So whether that's going on a walk with a friend and just giving them your time, or whether it's, going for coffee or having a spa day or going to a concert, whatever that is,
Taking
to
someone
get
out for breakfast
Exactly.
or whatever it is.
to
Love
get
that.
more in the habit of just gifting experiences. And then the second rule in tandem with that is to in a nice way, but basically train other people to do that to you,
For you.
by expressing, that that's what you value most and that's what you love, so that you're not constantly, because there's so many gift giving reasons, Valentine's and birthdays and Christmas and whatever, that we're trained to show our love that way, but that's not the only or even the best way to show your love.
It's so good. Because if we're being honest, we don't need much more.
Exactly.
That's not the stuff that lasts.
Exactly.
Right? Oh, that is great.
That's a cute.
3 good
Yeah.
podcasts.
3 good ones. So yeah, a lot to take in. I think we're all going to do our best to sort of take bits and pieces as we dive further into this organization and cleaning journey adventure. But if any of them resonated with you, or if you have a tip that you've come across that you love, drop it below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And most importantly, don't forget to enjoy the view wherever your ride takes you.